How's it going, everyone? Data here, and welcome back to the Seattle Kraken franchise mode, episode number 39, headed into the 2030 off-season. In the last one, we were coming off of our second President's Trophy victory in franchise history, and in the playoffs, we came through and won our fourth Stanley Cup in the last 6 years, our fourth in franchise history, through 9 seasons as well. It was a roller coaster of a ride, a 7-game series in round number 1 where we almost got reverse swept were it not for an overtime winner in Game 7 from Alex Tuck, a 6-game series against the extremely offensive Edmonton Oilers, a 4-game sweep of the St. Louis Blues, and then a 6-game thriller, a lot tighter than it may look in a 6-game series against Le Canadien Montréal. So to capture that Stanley Cup, we were thinking, do we wrap it up right there, or do we do one more year? And I think we will do one last season. But instead of it being another season, as in another couple episodes and then a playoff live stream, I think I'm going to do this off season. This video uploaded today, if you're watching it live, on May the 30th, 2022. But then on Thursday, June 2nd, 2022, 7 p.m. Eastern, an hour before Game 2 of the Oilers and the Avalanche will start in the real world, we will do a full final season simulation. I know it overlaps with NHL playoffs, but pretty much any night does, and we want to get started on our next series at the same time. So here on Monday, the upload of this off season, a couple days to get your thoughts in, and then the live stream of episode number 40, the entire 2030-31 season, including hopefully a deep playoff run, and then we'll end it at the beginning of the off season of 2031. I will do the wrap up of years number 11 to 25 in, I suppose, episode number 41, and we will call it a series after 10 seasons at the helm of the Kraken, and then I suppose an extra 15 years as assistant to the general manager, something like that, like Jason Spetz is doing over in Toronto. But that's the plan. So live here on YouTube, 7 p.m. Eastern, June 2nd, 2022. Be sure to tune in. It's going to be a fun ride, and I'll need live assistance from all the assistant GMs. So with all that taken care of, now we can begin to think about this off season. We're coming off of, like I said, our 4th cup in 6 years, but it was a fantastic, and that's an understatement of the century probably, performance from Malik, our backup of the last couple of years, who we said, okay, he's kind of been so-so. His numbers have been hovering around 900 save percentage. At the end of last year, he was doing pretty well. Ended the year with a 12-6-2 record with a shutout, 913 save percentage, 2.42 goals against. Peyton Wilm was struggling a little bit at the beginning of the playoffs, and you know I'm not afraid to go to my backup goalie if and when needed. He went 4-3-0 in 7 appearances throughout the playoffs, had a shutout, but an 898 save percentage, 2.86 goals against average. We said, you know what, let's go to Malik, and you know what, we never looked back. The man went 12-3-0 as an 82 overall backup, had 4 shutouts in 12 victories, a 927 save percentage, and 2.16 goals against average. Absolutely ludicrous numbers from the 28-year-old who has one more year at 900K before he'll want an upgrade for sure. But we're dealing with some goaltending issues here because we have our starter who dropped from an 88 to an 86 and getting paid almost $9 million for the next, 5 years? Yes. Malik, who's coming off of a Conn Smythe-worthy performance. Then you have in our system our third goalie who's grown up to an 81, and then on top of that, 2 other goalies in our system who have elite potential in the 70s. Forget about Drieger for the moment, but Kelly and Malhi. So really tough in regard to what we want to do there. Do we keep Wilm? Are we kind of in a Toronto Maple Leaf situation where Campbell's taking over from Freddie Anderson, even though he's not quite a starter perhaps, but we'll hope that he blossoms into one? Is it a Vegas Golden Knights Marc-Andre Fleury situation where he's kind of demanding a trade out of there, or his agent is perhaps, I should say? So that's, it's very difficult. I'd like to keep Peyton Wilm, but we have to also find some money because we have how much do we have? $12.585 million in extension dollars, but we got to sign Bergenheim, Lume, Maloney. We want Vladimir Tarasenko to retire as a Kraken. So it's going to be very difficult to continue to put a competitive team on ice, but our core is beginning to age. McKinnon, Tarasenko, if he comes back, we have to continue to think about the future while also paying respect to the players who have got us to this point so far. So all that to say, let's dive into the YouTube comments and see what the assistant general managers had to say in the last one. Isaiah says, I see Wilm just like Freddie Anderson. That's where I got the inspiration for what I just said. He wasn't good in the playoffs, and you have Malik who could become your starter. Since Wilm went down in overall, it makes sense to trade him so he can bounce back with another team. That's what I would do. Thank you, Isaiah. Ed says, well done. I believed in another cup. In my opinion, trading Wilm is a good idea and possibly the only way to get money for Tarasenko. Do you remember I advised you to sign him early? So in reply to Ed, and just a shout out to anyone who's curious about franchise mode, the reason I did not re-sign Tarasenko earlier when he was asking for maybe $3 million was because as an 81, 82 overall at his age, if he put up a normal 15, 20 goal, 40 point type season, his demand would have continued to drop as his overall and potential would have dropped. But because he had such a good season, he scored like 30 goals, he was very good in the playoffs, his demand is currently at like $5 million. So it's a bit of a gamble, but usually these older players go down in demand over time unless they have a really, really good season, which Tarasenko did. So that's why he's asking for more now, and now we're kind of struggling to find the money. Also, Malik was great in the important games. Bergenheim and Lume did well in the playoffs, so I prefer to keep them. Popov a bit disappointing, and if you decide to trade Tiny Morrison, one of our third-pair defensemen, it's not a problem because we have Kalle Lundberg in the system who can replace him well. Thank you, Ed. Pat says, congrats on another cup. I think this was your most dramatic playoff run yet, certainly in this series, maybe all-time wonderful. Thank you, Pat. If this is the last regular season sim, what a way to end. I think Wilm is demanding a trade, however. And then going over to some additional thoughts from Pat in the Discord server, he says that he 100% thinks that Wilm demands a trade. It would add a fun wrinkle to the story too. Heck of a playoff run. Now, I do agree that it would add a fun wrinkle, but at the same time, here's my thinking about Peyton Wilm. We're about to move into the 15-year simulation, and it's going to be pretty hands-off from me. I'm just simulating through as the AI GM kind of takes over a little bit. I'm not going to be doing too much. I'll be doing contracts, some drafting, that's it. Having a goalie signed for another 6 years, who maybe we can extend for a number of years after that, would take some headaches off of me trying to draft and trade and do things for goalies, because the AI GM usually by like year 15 is starting a 70 overall in nets. So having Peyton Wilm gives us that security. Even if he's not amazing, he gives us that security long term. He's a great story. He's one of our first draft picks. He was a first round pick. If he retires a Kraken, that's a fun story. But at the same time, we got to think about the team. We got to stay competitive, and that's almost $9 million wrapped up in Peyton Wilm, who hasn't really been amazing. He won the Vezina Trophy in 2029, but in 2029-30, and the playoffs underwhelming. And Nick Malik is there, you know. Scott comments, no disrespect to Nate McKinnon, who won the Conn Smythe, but Malik got robbed of the Conn Smythe. And I agree with Pat. I feel like Malik taking over the crease in the playoffs opened us up to a Marc-Andre Fleury Vegas type situation and a potential trade demand. And I followed up saying, you know, Wilm is only 1 year removed from winning the Vezina. He signed long term, but Malik just had an incredible run. XYZ, can we really roll with Malik as a starter, or was this lightning in a bottle? And Scott says, you know what? This wouldn't be the first time a team did that. Think about J.S. Jaguar, think about Cam Ward, and you know what? That kind of reassured me a little bit. We wouldn't be setting some sort of new precedent. This has happened in the NHL before, and the results have been successful. Concerning other suggestions around the series, Scott says that Tarasenko and Tuck could be candidates for the natural-born leader X Factor, given their timely/overtime goals. Or if you want to go younger, Marco or Kozlov seem to also have a knack for those natural-born leader-type goals. And of course, don't forget Eli Manning on our team, our fourth-line power forward. So maybe Eli Manning earns some power play time so he can quarterback the power play. So we'll think about that next season. I'd like to get him re-signed, and I'd like him to have some third-line minutes if possible, but worst-case fourth-line. And, you know, I wouldn't mind throwing him on the power play either. Concerning the draft, Ryan says you absolutely have to draft someone named Vikingstad. There was a prospect around the end of the first round named Vikingstad, so we'll look into him. Also, incredible series. Loved every episode. Don't stop doing what you're doing, Data. Thank you very much, Ryan. That really means a lot. And speaking of other nice comments, I got to also say thank you to Vinny, who says, yes, I think you should play next season with the live stream, as that would be fun to watch. Yes, we will do that. Congrats to the Seattle Kraken for another Stanley Cup win, and congrats to you, Data, for 4,000 subscribers. So I said it on Twitter. I mentioned it in the last episode when we were at like 3,990 something. Thank you, everyone, for 4,000 subscribers. As I'm recording this, I think it's already at 4,050. So it's fantastic growth here on the channel. I love that this community continues to grow, a positive, wholesome place where we can discuss hockey, have fun with franchise mode, and come together in our collective minds to try and build a good team. And that's exactly what we've done with 4 cups in 9 years. Let's try and get 5 cups in 10 years, and it all starts here. So I'm not going to touch any contracts before the draft, because after the draft, that's where demands usually come down a little bit and get a bit more realistic. So Tarasenko right now, he's asking for 5.5, I believe. If I go to all expiring, he is an 83 overall, but by next year he'll probably be an 81. He wants 5.5, 5.6 right now. I wouldn't be surprised if after the draft he's asking more like 4.5. It'll still be a lot, but it will come down. So I won't touch contracts yet. We'll wait for that. But what we do have to figure out in the contract situation is who's staying, who's going, because we don't have enough money to re-sign everyone. And I gotta say, I think I've kind of come to a conclusion myself. Rickard Bergenheim, he has to be a third liner next year. He wants $3 million or so. That's okay. Pasi Lume, he's been buried on the fourth. If we want to put him on the third and pay him around $3 million, $2 million something, that works as well. Asher Maloney now, he's been a third liner. He's been very good for us, a great playmaker. He had a 41 assist season. In 246 games, he has 120 assists, 148 points with us. 3 very good seasons, plays a full 82 games. He's been great, no complaints at all. His ice time has been always around the same area on that third line with some power play. However, if next season our top 6 continues to be McKinnon, Beniers, Marco, Tuck, Popov, and Moss, that means the third line would probably be Bergenheim, Lume, and I would hope Asher Maloney. But Tarasenko is also a possibility. But regardless, Tarasenko coming back or not, Maloney is still stuck on that third line. And you might be saying, okay, well, Tuck is going to retire soon, or McKinnon might move on soon, and that opens up the possibility for Maloney to come in. Yes, it does. But do I want to commit $6 million right now to Asher Maloney as an 83 overall middle 6 player? I don't know. And it does go down if we, like, let's say I give him 3 years to the age of 27. That's it. Like, that's when he'd be wanting his money. I'd want to give him 1 or 2 years. And even then, it's still expensive. If we go even more, it gets, could I give him 7 years, 8 years at 5.875? Yeah, that works. But again, do I want to commit to this guy being a middle 6 player, making $5 million, $35 million after only 3 years with us? And I don't know. I feel like that's a bit rich for my blood. We do the 85% trick, and it comes out to $5 million on the nose pretty much. So 8 years, $5 million, it's a bit more digestible than the 6 that he's asking for like 1 year. But 8 years, $5 million. Asher Maloney's a great playmaker. It's just that $5 million to him. Lume and Bergenheim take, let's say, 2.5 each. There's $5 million, $5 million. We're at $10 million. That would leave us with $2 million left to think about everyone else who's expiring on our team. And that includes Manning, forget these other depth guys, but Manning, Morrison. Whether they come back or not, those are roster spots that have to be filled. That's why I just don't know if one of Tarasenko or Maloney got to go. And that's if we keep Peyton Wilm in the team, which I think we will for the moment. I'm not opposed to trading Peyton Wilm, but I think he's coming off the Vezina a couple of years ago. Yes, he lost the crease in the playoffs, but we won the Stanley Cup. Malik was just that hot. Wilm will get the opportunity to win back the crease this season. I'm not saying after one. He still had a good year. I'm not saying after one so-so-ish year numbers-wise and then a meh playoffs that he's going to lose it right there when we've committed another 5 years after this to him. I want to at least give him the start of the year. I'm not opposed at all, and yes, it makes sense in the storyline if Malik starts to take the crease next year and he's doing better and Wilm's riding the bench. Yes, it makes sense. But after just one, yeah, I'm sure he's upset. But does that come together for a trade after he's been one of our longest serving players on the team? I don't want to pull the trigger yet. I don't want to do it prematurely. And again, I'm very open to it if he's faltering at the beginning of next season. But I think it would make sense to at least give him the opportunity to win the crease back. Now, with all that being said, we thankfully don't have to be forced into any moves at the deadline. Most of these expiring contracts are RFAs, so we'll take care of Tarasenko. Hopefully his demand comes down. We'll try to fit in the RFAs. Worst comes to worst, we'll figure something else out, but I really just want to give Tarasenko his contract. He deserves to retire as a Kraken, so we'll try to make that work. It's just going to be a straight-up draft. I don't foresee any trades happening. We'll see if any teams are putting their picks on the trade block here. The Predators at 2nd overall are. The Blues at 6th overall are as well. So 2nd and 6th overall is pretty rare, actually. The last few years, none of the top 10 picks have been up for grabs. But this year, 2 and 6. 2 this year looks to be Andrew Corbin, a 5'9", two-way centerman, medium elite, at 46 goals, 45 assists, 66 points in the Q, A+, similar to Nicholas Backstrom, NHL ready. Whew, that is very tempting, but I just don't think we have the value. It would probably take, like, Tuck, a couple first-round picks. I don't think I'm even going to look into it, to be honest. I'm going to go ahead and start simulating. There could be a prospect we want to move up for, maybe around any other teams we want to trade. Let's go to 15 and see what the draft is looking at by 15, and then we'll decide if there's anything we want to trade up for, or if we'll just go straight to pick 27. We have 27 and 32, so we'll see. First overall, medium elite two-way D. This guy Peterson, Jerry Peterson. 80 overall, medium elite, two-way D. And 2nd overall, the guy Corbin. He was 81 medium elite, and no gold X factors either, zone abilities. So you know what? I don't know. Would it have made sense to trade all that value for an 81? Maybe we trade all that for like an 83 or an 84 in a future draft, you know? But I'll go ahead and get to pick number 15 now. Okay, so at pick number 15, let's see who's gone. There's been some decent players in terms of overall. 80 overall offensive defenseman going to the Avalanche with a 3rd overall pick there. Pretty average, 86 overall offensive awareness. Average in terms of this is what you expect from a 3rd overall type player, not average in terms of prospects. It's a very good prospect. Medium elite two-way D, defensive D, medium elite playmaker, 80 overall to the Flames at 5th. The Blues getting a 66 overall medium top 6. Then the Canucks also missing out. Then the Red Wings and the Sharks both hit on their pick. 79 overall, Martin Goligoski, 37 goals, 34 assists. What league did this guy play in to have stats like Q? Yeah, makes sense in the Q. Two-way D, defensive D, offensive D, center playmaker, left wing playmaker, center grinder. So here at pick number 15, would anyone be interesting on the draft board? There would be a medium top 6, Ed McLeod, power forward, 1 year away, similar to Jeff Carter, right winger. I don't know, is there a position that we really need? Probably the wing, I suppose. Even, just forwards. The D is pretty good. Wings might be a bit, I'm thinking Bergenheim, I'm thinking Lume, because he's not really a centerman. Maybe a centerman would be what we need. But to trade up for a medium top 6, I don't think that's really necessary, because there's other medium top 6s later. There's this medium elite Nico Miettinen, 6'4" power forward. That's tempting, I gotta say. 3 years away, though, similar to Mike Modano. That's pretty tempting, actually. Maybe if he's around at 23. If not, then there's no one really good at our pick. I don't know. Let me see at 23. That'll be interesting. Because, yeah, these picks are available. No, not even. I'd have to trade for pick 19 and reach with a division rival. I'd have to reach with the 19th overall pick for this guy. How much would it cost at the 19th overall pick to take a medium elite player who would probably be a good piece for us down the road? 3 years away, probably a 60-some overall. I'm 27. I'd probably trade down. Maybe I want to keep 32. I'll trade you 27. I have a bunch of these later picks. Here's a 6th and 2 7ths. I don't know. Let's see. Just to move up 8 spots, a 6th and 2 7ths. Quite far off in value. Okay. I'll make it a 4th next season. So a 4th, a 6th, and 2 7ths to move up. Still quite far off. I didn't think it was that bad. Let me take a different approach here. Let me try giving you 27 and 64 for 19 and 115. A bit off in value. So I'll just toss in one of our many 7ths here at 223. What do you say to this, LA? Trade accepted. Thank you very much. Not too shabby. So we miss out. We lose our 2nd round pick. Maybe that could have been somebody. But to get a medium elite guy who's going to be good down the road, we don't need to jam up the system right now, who's going to be an 80 overall guy. I want these guys who are going to be ready a bit further on. So we'll reach a little bit here for Nico Miettinen from Liga. 6'4", 213 pounds, 18 years of age. He doesn't seem to have much going for him right now, but he's 3 years away. And hopefully he just becomes an animal later on. So from Finland, Mikko Miettinen, welcome to Seattle Bello. Let's see, 62 overall, medium elite power forward. I like it. Anything interesting? Not much, eh? 85 passing, always one of these. 93 wrist shot accuracy. Hopefully it works out, you know? Hopefully it works out. Let's go to pick number 32. Yeah, let's go to pick 32. No one was super interesting around there. Geisbers was the other one at the 76 overall. He was a bit interesting, but it was between him and Vikingstad. And I think I knew that if it was between those two, Vikingstad would be the guy. No one really interesting going after that. So centerman going there to the Canadians, 76 overall, medium top 6, playmaker. A good pick for sure, but I think Vikingstad's our guy, as was mentioned by Ryan in the comments there. He is a medium top 6 grinder. He's 6 foot from the SHL. He is NHL ready, so he should be in the 70 overall, similar to Sean Couturier. So say no more. There's a couple of low elites which are interesting, but I'm okay going for the medium top 6 here. Let's do it. Nicholas Vikingstad, the Swede. Welcome to Seattle Bello. You are, let's see, and Grinder will be good for the bottom 6, so hopefully he's already maybe a 79. I don't know, let's see. 77 overall, I like it. That should maybe even next season or a couple seasons away. Nicholas Vikingstad, a grinder with that kind of name, totally makes sense. Already 3.5-star physical. I like it. I like it. And good defense to boot. I'm pretty happy with that pick. The low elite guys are going to be interesting here in round number 2. And even some picks are up for grabs. Oh, that's tempting. But anyone we really, really want to go for? Maybe 3-bar medium elite, this guy from Hungary. What's his name? Gene Vance. Yeah, I remember him from last episode. A bit of a wonky prospect. This guy, Arcabello. This is a name from the Brooklyn Bellows franchise mode, I think, in NHL 19, if I remember correctly. Dante Arcabello. There's an Italian name, probably from Lugano. And yeah, it's true. He played for Lugano, a pretty Italian city in Switzerland. Similar to Theo Fleury, he's 3 years away. A centerman. Is there anyone that I really want to go for with the next pick there in the 3rd round? That's the question. Because if there's no one really great in the 3rd, 4th round, there are some low top 6 guys. This guy's a gem. Jalen Wolski, Woltak Wolski's son, perhaps. Yeah, there's some good players, low top 6s later on. We don't have picks there. High elite goalie as well, a gem. This guy, Andy Downey, a center gem, low top 6 forward. Yeah, I'd probably just take one of these guys later on as opposed to having to trade a lot of value for one of the guys right now. So I'll sim to the end of the round, not to pick 105, but to the end of the round at least. Let's see who went in round number 2. Definitely some good players for sure that it's sad to miss out on them. Zarkov, low elite. Siegel, low elite. Low overalls. A lot of 66. Arcabello was medium top 6. He was a center sniper. What kind of attributes did he have? Yeah, pretty average. Not a good centerman, it seems like. Probably one of those winger centerman type guys. Pretty average crop here. Nothing jumping out at me. Medium elite Cochran, a goalie going to the Vegas Golden Knights. Medium top 9s, medium top 6s, low top 6 forward, low top 4D, low top 6 forwards coming here into the 3rd round. So pick 65. We pick at 105, I believe. So maybe now trading up would be a little easier to do if there's someone we really want. I do like taking guys a little further down the road, though, because, like, for example, we have Sylvain Burroughs, who's in the system, Darius Piper in the system, guys pushing to the NHL, so I don't mind having less competition now and allowing the guys who are 2, 3, 4 years away to just grow in their own leagues, get signed later on. Downey, the centerman gem, is probably the guy speaking to me the most. There's a couple of high elite goalies, but we already have good goalies in the system. I don't know if it would make sense to do it, but I'm also trying to think of the 15-year sim. We got to have goalies in the pipeline, so I might try and get a couple picks in the 70s. I don't know. Let me try and work with it. I'll see what other teams have to say. I'm going to see if I can send Salcido to the Hurricanes for pick 75 and 107. They like it. Thank you very much. Salcido, hold on, the Avalanche are going to take their pick here. Low top 6 forward. So Salcido, he was a guy we signed in free agency 2 or 3 years ago, had low elite potential. I was trying to make him grow. I gave him middle 6 minutes in the AHL, never really did anything, kind of stagnated. And there's other people who are going to need spots in the AHL. He's a 69 at 23 years of age. Still had a decent amount of trade value, so good to capitalize on that while we can. In 3 years in the AHL, never got more than 29 points. How was his ice time? Like this year, he had 15, close to 15 and a half minutes. Yeah, just I don't think he was ever going to become anything. So I don't mind trading him for a couple picks now. And then, so we'll go to our pick at 75, get a high elite goalie, And then if I could also pick up pick number 76 right after, or even 77, let's go 77 from an Eastern Conference team, the Islanders. I'll use that pick that I got from the Hurricanes and flip it. I'll give you 107 as well as 115 from the LA Kings. 2/4 for a third, and that's Dallas, baby. There's a couple picks right there. So let's use our first one, pick 75, on one of the high elite goalies. Now here's the question, which one do we take? Do we go for Orlando Gorin, 6'1", 17 years of age, no numbers to show, 5 years away, high elite? Or do we go for the guy who is also 6'1", 19 years of age, 4 years away? B- reflexes, B- athletic, but D on the puck control. Good numbers in the QMJHL, but I lean towards the 17-year-old here. We got to go for him. So Orlando Gorin, the Dane, out of the SHL. Let's do it. Orlando, welcome to Seattle. High elite, 49 overall, as expected. A 5-year away goalie at 17 years of age. If it was medium elite, I wouldn't have gone for it. But high elite, I think that is well worth the gamble. So the Predators then take that random guy, and then us at 77, we can go ahead and reach just a little bit and take the centerman that we wanted, the low top 6, potential two-way forward, who is a gem from Kukukwavola from Liga, another Dane coming to Seattle, and he is 60 overall, low top 6, not too shabby for a third-round pick. Hopefully he grows nicely, and the scouts got it right that he is a gem. So I won't do any more trading up. Let's go to pick number 105 now. I'm content with who we've gotten. I'm sure there's other good prospects that are going, but we can't get every good prospect on the entire globe. We could take a risk on a 2-bar medium elite player here, Jace Grossman. But you know what? No one's really speaking to me until this guy here, Jaime Cholfito, I'm not sure how to pronounce that. 20 years of age, but he has the potential. So at least that's trade bait. So I'm gonna go down to like pick 125 or something, and let's see what happens there. Can I give you 105 and 2/7 to move down 25 picks, and you give me your 4th next year? Not quite, but that's close. I could probably get a 5th next year, because that's a lot of picks that we have here. Yeah, even a 6th. Let's get a 5th in a couple years. I'll still be doing drafting in the 15-year sim. Still isn't sufficient at all, excuse me. I guess it will be a 6th then. There we go. 6th round pick. Trade accepted. Thank you, Florida. They take a medium top 6D. Lovely. We'll go to pick number 125 and take our man. Not sure if it's Jamie or Jaime, but welcome to Seattle, big boy. 6'3" power forward. He is 66 overall. Wow, low top 6. I know it's mostly due to him being already 20 years of age, but I'll take it. Not bad. Not too bad. For a 4th round pick, no problem taking a little risk like that. Let's jump down to pick number 160 now, the final pick of the 5th round, excuse me, what am I saying there? Low top 6D, it's a medium top 9, guaranteed medium top 6, don't mind if I do. Pascal Laliberté from the Blainville Boisbriand Armada of the QMJHL, 5'9", 17-year-old, medium top 6 sniper. Bienvenue à l'équipe, mon ami. Let's see what he is. 48 overall, yikes, but at least he's a guaranteed medium top 6. I like that. For 17, 5th round pick, no problem there. Hopefully he grows, but regardless, he has that potential, the all-important potential. No one else super interesting even going anyways. So now pick 168. I think we're at a point now we can just take whoever we want, so I'll just sort by potential. 1-bar medium elite. I'll take a 3-bar medium top 6. Yeah, I'll do that. Slated for 176 anyways. Dalton Scoville. On the Scoville scale of heat, he must be scoring some spicy goals out there. Woo! Wow! Medium bottom 6 from 3 bars, medium top 6. 55 overall sniper. Woo, boy. Scoville, you got to get some ghost peppers in there if you're going to be wanting to heat up the league. Let's go pick 192. I think we have one more pick after this one. We'll just continue to go by potential. A couple of 3-bar low top 6s here. Cody Von Fersen, 20 years of age, and Jermaine Russell, also 20. I'll take a risk on this guy. 3-bar low top 6, why not? And 57 overall, medium bottom 6. Yikes. Pick number 200 to close off the draft. Oh, they want 200? For Harkins and Ekman Larson? No, thank you. I would have traded you the pick, but not for 2 random players I don't need. Let's go for a 2-bar low elite. Why not? Let's just see what happens. Larry Bilesma, 2-bar low elite from the Ottawa 67s. Yay, low top 4. Not bad. Okay, thank you very much. 55 overall, low top 4D. 200th overall. Not a bad story. All right. So thus concludes the 2030 NHL entry draft, and we can move into the contracts and see what kind of demands are changing, if any. Miettinen and Vikingstad are 2 first-round selections. We'll see what becomes of them in the future in that 15-year simulation in a couple episodes' time. Go to the resign phase now. I'll go ahead and take care of the scouts and the coaches who need to be resigned, and then I'll see what the contract page. All right, so into the resign phase we go, all expiring. First off, the RFAs can just get qualified unless there's a really good deal right now. We could take Rickard Bergenheim long term. Wouldn't be cheesing the system too much if we're paying him around $4 million. If we signed him right now, keep him as an RFA for 3 years. That probably makes more sense for him. Coming off of an ELC, he'll probably want to sign a bridge deal. So we got to do what probably makes more sense for him. 525, 85% of that is just $3 million. So 3 years, $3 million. Keep him as an RFA. We'll see where he goes from there. So I don't mind signing that. That's a good deal right now. But the other guys, I'll have to give them just qualifications for the moment because we got to sign the UFAs first and foremost. So qualify Lume, qualify Maloney. Now let's see, what does Vladimir Tarasenko want? 2 years, 5.25. 1 year, 5.05. At least that's a bit more reasonable. 5.05, that means he'd be getting 4.3 for 1 year. A 1 year contract, 4.3 million for the captain. He'll definitely go down, but hopefully he can still produce. So let's see what Tarasenko says to that. He's, like we said, he's coming off of a solid season. If it was a normal year, he wouldn't be asking this much, but he scored 33 goals as a 38-year-old, so he wants a little over $4 million. JT Compher, our 13th forward. I can find somebody for cheaper, unfortunately, so I hope you enjoyed your Stanley Cup ring, JT. Manning can get qualified. Morrison can get qualified. Rayala, he's a pretty good 13th forward for us, but 1.2 guys like that come on two-way deals in free agency. So Rayala, I'll have to let you go. All the other RFAs can pretty much get qualified here. Some UFAs, some unsigned UFAs will get their first ELCs. Brisebois, Quinville, a lot of French Canadians on this team. I'll let Paddock walk here, low bottom 6. Low top 9, Lundstrom, yeah, I gotta let him go as well. But the rest of the guys, Dhaliwal, I remember him being a bust of a pick by accident. He was a 59th overall pick. He has not worked out for us. What's he doing over in Europe? 8 points in 45 games at least. I'll give him a contract because of how highly we signed him, but I doubt anything really ever happens with him. Hilpert also has to be qualified. We have to figure out what we do with him because, yes, he could be third goalie, but if Kelly or Malhi really grow over the offseason, maybe Hilpert has to be moved because he has to play on a team. Or Wilm gets traded and Hilpert becomes our first full-time backup, so I don't want to trade him yet. Just qualify. All we got to figure out first is Tarasenko and Bergenheim. So we'll advance a day, let the scouts resign. Tarasenko says he is rejecting a contract renewal and wants to test the free agent market. Come on. And same for Rickard Bergenheim. What? Okay, so go ahead and qualify Bergenheim. I'm not going to play around with you. You want to be cheap, then be cheap. Tarasenko, though, come on, buddy. 1 year, we'll go 4.350. I'm not going to go too high on you. Come on. You know, no one in free agency is going to be giving you crazy money. I'm offering you a good amount right now. Let me take care of the other UFAs, and I'll be back in a sec. Advancing another day now. More scouts coming on board. Dream Mind, okay. Again, reject from Tarasenko. Everyone else says that it's an honor and a dream to join the team. That's great. Matthew Rempe, whatever you want to call him. We're going to go ahead and release him. There's just not enough room in the AHL anymore. 6'8" behemoth from the Seattle Thunderbirds. Crazy shot power, 98 stick checking, 89 shot blocking. It was fun to have him for a while with his 5-star physical, but just no room for him. Had the AHL top 6 potential, never got more than a 74. It was nice having him on the team, but we got to let our prospects grow now after, I think he played 7 years on the team or something. So thank you for your service, my friend. It's been nice having you in Seattle, but we wish you all the best as you probably take your talents to somewhere in Europe. Let's go 4.5 on Tarasenko, but come on, buddy. You're the captain. Take a little bit of a friendly deal here. 4.5 is already very generous for you. Come on. Maybe we have to let him go to free agency and just sign him there. It's going to be even more costly. 4.750 for 1 year. This guy's asking for a lot right now. Still rejecting. If he wants to reject, he's going to reject. I'll try my best to sign him. $5 million. There you go, you greedy, greedy animal. $5 million. Easy decision. I'm sure it was an easy decision. I gave you an extra $700,000. Come on! That puts a sour taste in my mouth. $5 million it costs. That leaves us with 8.46 to get everything else done. Yeah, it's only 700K difference. We'd still be in trouble, but that puts a sour taste in my mouth, like I said. We got to deal with Bergenheim, Lume, Maloney, Manning, all these guys. It's not going to be easy to get these guys re-signed. Hopefully we can just, maybe leave some of them qualified and arbitration takes care of it. But let's go to July 1st. We'll figure out more once July 1st hits. And if we have to trade Tarasenko, we'll trade Tarasenko. But that's disappointing from him. Here we go. July 1st, he's back on board. Let's see what's up in free agency. Looking at the UFAs who are available. Braden Point, Artemi Panarin, Jake Sanderson, Carson Lambos, Tomasino, Asplund, Perfetti. I'm just curious if I look at, let's say like left wingers, if we want a new first line left winger and Alex Tuch were to leave. Someone who's not too old. Like Matthew Boldy wants $12.5 million. It's not going to happen. Joakim Asplund, 10th overall pick in 2023. Bach wants a lot of money. Pakarainen, Lassi Pakarainen, 6th overall pick, sniper, wonky player though, 17 goals. That's weird. Kozanov, no, there's no one there. There's no one. We're not going to do any big splashes in free agency, I don't think. Tomasino wants a lot of money. Bjorkstrand's getting a bit too old. Doesn't work. What about goaltenders? Anyone up in the goaltending category? Michael DiPietro, of course, there he is. Hunter Jones, former Minnesota Wild franchise mode guy. Let's just look at everybody in the league, sorting by potential. Any good prospects who have slipped there? Medium Elite Beach. Medium Elite Colburn, this guy, 5.5 he wants. Byron Colburn, two-way forward. Wouldn't really work for us. Reala's down here. Tutin. No one's super interesting. I'll probably try and get the medium elite guy. Beach. Even then, there's not even probably going to be much room for him at all. Tommy Beach. He scored crazy points where? In the USA? Probably, no, the Q. 111 points in 68 games. Tommy Beach. Yeah, I'll send him a contract. Why not? Tommy, let's see what you got. Max two-way deal. If he chooses us, he chooses us. Cool. Philly and Detroit also in the mix. So that's pretty much it for free agency. We're not doing anything else. Now it's just signing our own guys with that $8.46 million. I'm going to see if there's any new scouts to sign on, and then we'll simulate maybe a week, and we'll see if some of the demands have come down, and then we'll have to try and finally figure this all out. All right, so advancing a week now, Roy Stewart, new AHL head coach for us. Thank you very much. Tommy Beach signs on to the Seattle Kraken organization. Thank you very much. Well, I would give you a goalie and a pick for a... What are these trades? No, thank you. Okay, so we advanced a week. Let's check out our RFAs and see what they're saying. It's going to be tight. I don't know if we got to trade Tiny Morrison, if we got to trade Maloney. I want to make it work that we keep Wilm and Tarasenko, but not going to be easy. Plus, on top, we could send extensions to our other guys. Like Nathan McKinnon would sign on for 10.6 right now for a one-year extension. Even two at 10.625. I'd be down to give McKinnon a 2-year deal. He's still 95 overall with franchise potential, even going to the age of 36. So you know what? I'm going to go ahead and do that. We have 32.775 of extension. 10.625, 85% of that would be 9.031. So 9.050 for 2 years. No problem with me, Nathan McKinnon. I can do that. That's $1 million downgrade, so very team friendly. Jacob Chikrin making 6.7. He wants a huge raise, so we'll have to wait on him if he even comes back. Alex Tuch is probably a guy we're going to move on from, even though he only wants 7.8, which would be pretty much what he's making now. It would be like 6.65. It wouldn't be a slight increase. It wouldn't change much, but I have to wait and see what his overall is by then, when he'll be 35 at the end of next season. So we'll see on that. Tarasenko, of course. Kobasu, if he could grow, that would be great. He wants $5 million for what? For an 81 overall. Okay, so we'll wait on that. But maybe if we could move, I don't know, like what's our defense going to be next season? If we go Chikrin, Byram, Bear, Kobasu, Kozlov, Rolison, Suglobov could be 7th D. And that means we could just trade Tiny Morrison instead of dedicating $2+ million to him. So that's one less guy we have to think about. But he is a medium league prospect. That would be sad to let go of him. But 79 overall, maybe now it's just time to capitalize on his value. We drafted him as a 4th round pick. Medium elite, we were very happy to have him, but he's played 3 years, 39 points in 205 games. He hasn't been a point guy. That's all right. Plus 18, but he's playing minutes. That's the thing. He's been playing an average of 14 minutes and 16 seconds a night through 3 seasons, and he has been stuck at a 79 the whole way through. He has 1 Stanley Cup ring, so that's cool, but I think we'll probably have to let him go. So Tiny Morrison, that clears up a little bit of the headache there. We don't need to think about signing him, but there's the other guys we still have to get. So Bergenheim has his demands. Yeah, they have. So we can do 3 years on Bergenheim. He wants less than before. This is a fair bridge. 2.38 for 3 years. So 2.4 for 3 years. That's very fair to keep him as RFA. Rickard Bergenheim, that's good for me. Pasi Lume now. What kind of contract would he like? 2.25. We go 2.2 for 1 year. Keep him as an RFA, or we go a little bit longer. Asher Maloney. He's still he's come down. He's come down now. We could go 2, 3. We might have to go 1 year just because of Tarasenko. Yeah, you know what? I think we can make this work, ladies and gentlemen. I think we can make this work. We have a team of guys who are committed to 1 more run at a cup with this group before things start to change a bit more. 2.805, so 2.825 for 1 year for Asher Maloney. Next year, he'll definitely be wanting the 5.6. But for right now, that would be big. We lose his RFA status, but that would be big. Eli Manning, does he want a cheap deal? I'll wait on him a little bit. Tiny Morrison will probably have to trade. So if we get a good young player in return, that would be good as well. Let me advance a couple days. If Maloney and Bergenheim both sign on, that would be very, very good. Then we can see what kind of money we're playing with. Advancing a few days forward. July 11th now, July 12th. Reject from Asher Maloney. Not enough money on his end, but Rickard Bergenheim is happy to accept the offer. So at least that's 1. Piper, what are you saying, Philadelphia? At least that's 1 down in Rickard Bergenheim. Nice team-friendly deal for 3 years. Then he'll get paid. Nice little bridge right there. We'll wait. Still waiting on what McKinnon has to say. Going back to Asher Maloney. 1 year, 3.175. That's even cheaper now, right? I think. Let me try 1 year, 2.750. 1 year, 2.750 for Asher Maloney. That leaves us with just over 4-ish million. Let me see. Pasi Lume we could probably get done. 1 year. Okay, we'll do 1 year again on Lume to keep him as RFA, because then next year again he'll want to get paid if he does well. Goes down to 1.825. Yeah, 1 year, 1.825 on Lume. Let's wait and see what Maloney, Lume, and McKinnon have to say. Advancing forward. Lundberg tendered an offer sheet from the Rangers. Oh, boy. I'll probably let him go, to be honest. 2 years at 1.270. I was thinking about trading Lundberg, because now with Suglobov coming in there. 78 overall, 22 years of age. You know, when you love someone or something, you gotta just let him go. 13 games in the NHL, no points, +5. He's done well in the AHL. But Lundberg, go spread your wings and fly. Remind me in 6 days. Let me see what happens when these guys sign their contracts. Easy decision from Nathan McKinnon, Mr. Kraken. Hopefully going to be on the team until he retires. Very, very happy to have him on for 2 more years at an extremely team-friendly deal. Let's keep going and see what these other guys have to say, because that'll really make some decisions for us. I believe the signing will be good for myself and the franchise. Asher Maloney, get in here. Same from Pasi Lume. Okay. All right. All right. That leaves us with 4.435 million to take care of all these other guys. So Morrison, he gets traded. Lundberg, I don't think it makes sense to match the offer. We'll probably just let him go. These other guys will be cheap to get them re-signed. So I think we're in the clear. Just got to also give a contract to Hilpert, who would be a 3rd goalie. Bit expensive, honestly, but the system says he's going to grow. 2 years would be much cheaper, but he'd be a UFA. I want to keep him as an RFA. The game thinks he's going to grow. I'll give him 1 year for 1.05. Let's do that. 1 year, 1.05 on Marcus Hilpert to be 3rd goalie / maybe a bigger role later on. All skaters RFA. Eli Manning, I want to get him back for the 4th line. 1 year keeps him as an RFA, so we'll do that. We can get him for 1 million, I think. So 1 year, 1 mil on Manning. We can do that. We can afford it. Morrison will move on, even though we could probably afford him now, to be honest. Yeah, we could afford him. But Suglobov's there. He's an 80 overall. I'd rather have Suglobov, I think, even though Morrison has the elite potential. I can capitalize on his value and move him now, yeah. So Morrison is going to be traded. Lundberg is going to have the offer sheet go to him. Manning and Hilpert are going to get re-signed, and we'll still have a little money to play with if anything comes up. I like it. Not a bad offseason from GM data, ladies and gentlemen. We worked through it, and we get to start the year with Wilm and Tarasenko and have the ability to make changes as we see fit as opposed to being forced into them. So Kalle Lundberg is off to the New York Rangers. It's been a pleasure having you in the organization. I wish you all the best over in the Eastern Conference. Thank you, my friend. It has been fun. Marcus Hilpert, extremely happy to accept the offer. That's very nice. And now we're just waiting on Eli Manning, who is back. He has a Super Bowl ring. He has a Stanley Cup ring. Now let's see him quarterback the power play next year. All right, July 20th now. I'll take care of the other names. With 4.205 left to play with, the other RFAs, I'll sign them on, and then we'll find a trade for Tiny Morrison. So here's a trade I'm thinking about with the Minnesota Wild. Over on the Wild, there is a prospect, medium top 6 potential, 19 years of age, 78 overall, Josh Petrovic. In the WHL, he's coming off a 92-point season in 60 games. He was the 9th overall pick in 2028. Not a crazy prospect. 3-star shooting, 3-star defense. He's a two-way forward. Seems to simulate okay and just signed an entry-level contract. Hasn't proven anything yet. The Minnesota Wild don't have really anything going on defense. They have a bunch of 80 overalls, 79 overalls. So I think Morrison could be a guy that they look to build with in the future. Not much going for them right now aside from their top guy Vickers at an 86, Fabro at an 83. So I think this makes sense for them to acquire Morrison. He does have more value, so I'll see if I can also get a second in exchange for a third next season. What do you think about this? Minnesota, trade rejected. You're quite far off in value. Honestly, understandable. So maybe I can just take out the picks then. Even though it's more value going their way, I can just take some lower picks because already, even though the value's in our favor, it's really a pretty even trade and maybe even in our favor if I'm being totally honest with myself. So let's just try a 5th and a 6th tossed in. Trade accepted. I doubt anybody will think Minnesota came out on the short end of the stick with this trade, so it's a done deal. So a little bit of benevolence, why not, from GM data. Tiny Morrison, I hope that you have a life of joy and that you thrive in Minnesota. Thank you for what you did here. Enjoy the Stanley Cup ring. Clears up a little salary cap space and some roster space. Petrovic is a junior player. Is he signed to an ELC? I believe he is, but I wonder why he can't. But next season he should be in the, yes, he should be in the AHL next season, I believe. Depending on when his birthday is, maybe, but we'll figure that out. Regardless, another good forward prospect in our system. Hopefully he makes the NHL. Morrison, I just didn't see much coming from him. So we'll start simming towards next season. Our RFAs should begin to sign. So Piper extremely happy, Nedamaki extremely happy, Kartinen, Safronov all extremely happy. That's good to see, and I think that's everybody. Yeah, so the trade offers are coming in now. That's it. So I'll go ahead and stop the simulation there. Heading into next draft, I'm not going to do the number simulation anymore for next draft or for drafts after that because next draft is the first that will be done in the years 11 to 25 simulation. So from now on, it will be a medium draft class. No more high, low, high, anything else. So this last year, it was medium. Oh, it was high, medium. Yes, it was high, medium. So it will be medium from now on for the rest of this franchise mode. No more changing up any of that. In the big simulation, there's going to be like no injuries and auto staff management, stuff like that, but I'll get into that at a later date. Let's sim to next season, see what the roster's looking like, and if there will be any more changes. Alright, so here at the beginning of the preseason, we will have some decisions to make for next episode, absolutely. If we keep the lines as they were during our Stanley Cup run, this is how they look. Everything's still the same, aside from a few overall boosts, most notably to the second line, where Popov is up to an 86, but Near's up to a 92, the highest he's ever been, and Chris Moss up to an 85. On the third line, Bergenheim up to an 83, Tarasenko down to an 82. Everyone else remains the same. On defense, Chychrun 89, Kobasu still an 81, Bear down to 82, Byram, I think he was flirting with 86 a little bit, now he's at 85. Kozlov, Rolison still 80 and 81 respectively. Alexander Kozlov has played 5 full seasons, 400 games, and he has not budged from the overall that he was when we drafted him in 2025. Makes no sense whatsoever. And goaltending, Peyton Wilm back from an 88 down to an 86, back up to an 87. Malik is still an 82, and now Marcus Hilpert also an 82. Suglobov is an 81. He wants to make the top 6. And Petrovic, the player we just traded for from the Minnesota Wild, is a 79 overall. So can we really use him as a 13th forward? I don't think so. I would say probably he goes to the AHL and somebody else gets signed as a 13th forward, but we'll wait and see for what the preseason gives us, because the preseason will be what decides it. So make sure that you're following along for the live stream for when we do the preseason and make those decisions headed into the 2030-31 season. In the AHL, we have Sylvain Burroughs up to a 78, Piper still at a 76. I'd like to give both these guys also some opportunities in the NHL during the preseason. No big defensemen pushing for NHL. Kelly, though, Cole Kelly, up to a 79 overall and listed as a backup goalie. So that'll be something we have to think about as well. So a lot of growth coming our way. It's at the same time as there's some aging. There are some players that are stagnating, like Kobasu and Kozlov, that haven't budged in their overall at all. It's nice to see that the second line grew over the offseason. Popov, Beniers, and Moss, a very deadly line, especially at a +5, so that's great to see. So that just about does it for the offseason, my friends. The team is still looking pretty strong. We're looking for 5 cups in 10 years. We could still send out some more extensions to Tuck, to Chicken. We'll think about that. We'll have a big preseason coming up. What kind of players do you want to see getting auditions in the NHL during the preseason? What's up for the goalie situation? Do we give each goalie 2 games each? Those are the things I want to hear from you headed into next episode, so that beginning the live stream on Thursday night, we're ready to go. Just in case you're curious, through 9 seasons for the records, our current points leader in franchise history is Nathan MacKinnon with 714. Most seasons played, Tarasenko going to have 10 very soon. MacKinnon 446 assists, Tarasenko 707 games played. Penalty minutes to Matty Beniers, that's interesting. Peyton Wilm with the wins and the shutouts, and MacKinnon also with the goals at 268. For single season records, nothing super recent aside from Peyton Wilm, Vitaly Popov, and then Peyton Wilm again for the shutouts, penalty minutes, and wins respectively in a season. A lot of other records going to MacKinnon back in 2026, had that big year, and many players, of course, playing 82 games a year. Rookie records are as they are right there, and single game records right there for anyone who's curious. So be sure to leave all your thoughts on everything headed into next season and beyond down here in the YouTube comments or over on the Discord server. Drop a like for this off season of cap magic, I guess you could call it. And also be sure that you are subscribed to the channel so that you will be made aware of when the vote goes up for our next franchise mode. I think it's currently between 3 or 4 teams, so now we're over 4,000 people in the channel. It should be a lively vote and debate when that post goes live. So be sure that you're subscribed to be made aware of that, as well as all of the uploads here on the channel, our NHL 07 Dynasty mode, FIFA 22 career mode, and other hockey breakdown analysis type videos, especially with the playoffs going as they are, breaking down the second round. That's going to be the video coming out once the Hurricanes and the Rangers game is done, which is going to be tonight when this comes out live. So looking forward to the end of the second round and into the conference finals in the real world, and looking forward to 2030-31 here with the Kraken. So thank you once again for taking the time to watch. Looking forward to reading all your thoughts and seeing you again in the next one for our live stream on Thursday, June 2nd at 7 p.m. Eastern.